Yes, which was pretty awesome. Some of them were
Off the top of my head, compared.
You are now listening to the Voices of Dubai.
You're listening
Watching The Voices of Dubai with Joe Hage.
This is the Voices of Dubai.
Nassim, thank you very much for being here. It's
Thank
an honor
you
to
so
have
much
you.
for having me.
It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
One of the greatest voices of Dubai. I remember when we first met, it was in 2015.
Wow.
I was working as a sound engineer in Montage TV Productions.
Yeah.
And if my memory serves me right, my first ever session with you was a remote session. So even back in 2015, I was already recording remote sessions, and you were known for that, you know. It was always...
Well, I was known for that not as a choice. I had to do that remotely because
Sure.
I moved from one place to another, from one country to another.
Sure.
It wasn't easy, to convince the clients that I'm not with them in that location. But maybe I was smart and I started it before everyone else.
Yeah, sure. And actually, it's funny because we used to record through a software called ISDN.
And it was expensive.
Yes.
They charged per minute like 10 dirhams or something. It was
Wow.
an expensive connection. There was no Zoom and all of this stuff.
And throughout the years, I've had the pleasure of working with you on on hundreds of different projects for different clients.
Yeah.
And here we are today.
Great. On camera.
On camera, yes. What was your first voiceover project ever?
Well, I had two kind of, let's say, voiceover works. I had the voiceover works between me and myself, and I had the voiceover works between me and, let's say, clients or people. So when I was young, since I was 14 or 15, I used to love to do voiceovers, and I knew that. So I had this, radio machine, recorder machine, let's say, where I used to remember and know all the ads on the radio, and I used to record them by my voice myself. Then I used to play the song, and then the radio. So I had my own radio station in my bedroom as a kid. But then when I was 18, I started the university. I volunteered in the Lebanese Red Cross, where I was sent to an association that record books for blind students. You know, blinds, they study by listening or by touching Braille.
Brilliant. Yeah.
So I was sent, luckily, to the recording studio with a blind sound engineer, and I started reading these books. So I can say that was the first kind of voice recording thing I have done, reading books for blinds. And throughout 3 years, I read around 1,200 hours of audiobooks. And it was cassettes. It wasn't even that. This is like 1999 or 2000.
Wow.
So each cassette was 90 minutes and around 120 pages.
Wow.
Yeah. So I can say that was the first official thing where I had a feeling that real someone is listening to me, not me listening to myself. So it was a blind student and other number of blind students. So that was the first official voiceover. It wasn't a commercial or a promo or something. It was a book.
Nice. Can you tell us a bit about your experience throughout the years?
Yeah. So when I moved on in this recording studio for the blind students, I started meeting professional voiceovers who used to come to read the introduction or the name of the book, and they used to say, "Oh, who's that guy who has a nice voice like that?" And I wasn't known to anyone, and then they started telling me, "Why don't you go to other studios? Do you try your voice?" And at that time there was no internet in flats or mobile phones with internet, so you need to go and knock the door and say, "Hi, can you do a voice test for me?" Some people used to tell you yes, some people used to tell you, "Sorry, we're busy." And I used to come every day. I really don't care. I used to wait at the reception for like 10 hours waiting for someone to test my voice. Until someone she said, "Who's this guy who comes every day waiting to do a voice test? Like, get him to the studio, do a voice test, tell him you're bad and leave. And khalas, let's finish it." And that's what happened. So I went to the studio, I read a story, and she spoke to me, in the, what do you call it, PFL or whatever, like the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she told me, "Do you know you have a very nice voice?" I told her, "Yes." She said, "Do you want to work today?" I said, "Yes." And I worked that day.
Wow.
It was like kind of a narration, not narration, it was like a character in a documentary. Because to be the narrator, you need the experience of delivering. You need to control your voice. And I didn't have that. And that was something bad when you have a good voice and you don't have an experience. Because you cannot, you have a voice better than the narrator. And you are not the narrator, you are a character. Let's say you are a farmer in the movie doing, I work every day, but you have a nice voice. And when the narrator comes after you, he has a less quality voice. So I was stopped to work because I cannot do a character and I cannot do a narrator. So I had to go all the way again and start working on my delivery to reach the narrator level.
And what are the challenges that you faced when you first entered the voiceover
So this
industry?
was one of the challenges, that I have a nice voice, but I don't have a delivery. I don't know how to control my voice. I don't know how to breathe. I don't know how to cut the right places, how to do all the techniques that we do as voiceovers. So this was one of the big channels. Another channel is to know what kind of jobs work for me, work for my voice, for my character. Because you cannot do everything. You don't have a sports person who play all sports. You don't have a chef who cook all kind of dishes. People specialize, and you as a voiceover, you need to be special. Because when you are specialized, you are known and you are different, and then you become a brand, or your voice becomes something that people know. You can't do all kind of things, because that is acting. And a voiceover is not an actor. They are completely different. You can be the best voiceover, but you cannot act. An actor now, tell me cry, I can just 4 seconds and you will see my tears. That's an actor. I don't act.
Fair enough. And would you say that, what are the main differences for you between a voiceover actor and a voice actor?
Well, I think as far as I understand it, that, when you do those, you use your voice. Voiceover is using, you put your voice over something. You read a script, whether it was acting, doing someone, so someone is acting but you are his voice, or you are reading a script without appearing, which is a commercial or narration or whatever. They are two different techniques. It's like driving an airplane and driving a car. Driving is driving, but they have different techniques, different abilities. You need to live more the character. You need to forget about your voice. You need to shout. You need to cry. You need. They are completely different. You need to study acting to become an actor. So, it's very limited people are very talented. They are born like that. But definitely, I think an actor can be a voiceover, but a voiceover, it's easier for an actor to be a voiceover. But if you are a voiceover, it's not a default that you can act or do cartoons or do anything. This is all acting.
Makes sense. And do you think that you were a TV presenter for, what was it, 13, 15 years?
Yeah, I did a show for 12 years.
12 years, wow.
In TV, weekly show.
And do you think your experience as a TV presenter affected your career as a voiceover actor positively?
Actually, the opposite.
Okay.
Being a voiceover helped me more being on TV, because so to be a TV presenter, you need to control your voice and your body language and so many things. But so when you have the experience of controlling your voice, so you're done with one, then you have to now start working on the other things needed. But also it has its negative things, because in voiceover, when you say, tonight, I'm going to show you the best. You cannot do that on TV. Tonight, I'm going to show you the best things in this event. So you cannot on TV talk in the tone and things we do in voiceover.
Sure.
Because it's not only about the voice. So I had the negative effect, because when I started being on camera, of course, I'm affected by the voiceover experience. So they used to tell me, raise your voice. Why are you talking like that? Yeah, but it was helpful from the grammar, from the pronunciation, from I don't need to practice that. That is done. And this is the same, or the same applies for a radio presenter who moves to TV, because he is done with the sound part, but he needs to get the TV technique of speaking.
Sure. Yeah. And the presentation and the body language.
And how you look at the camera, how you read from the auto cue. You are not like looking for the words. You should look natural, the way you move your head.
Awesome. And overcoming self-doubt or imposter syndrome is a challenge that many voiceover actors face, especially early in their careers.
Yeah.
How did you face these challenges or these feelings yourself?
Well, of course, you will always face these, not only in the beginning part of your career, but later on you know how to deal with them. But at the beginning, they are more dangerous and risky because they can put you down or they can make you take wrong decisions. But of course, I had these at many times in my life. Maybe I was always confident, and I know, thanks God, I have a nice voice. So that was my, let's call my weapon. But it wasn't enough because I always needed certain experiences in certain jobs. You cannot do all jobs. And if you think you can do everything, then you are not right. You need to know where you're good, where you're bad. So don't go to a job where you know you are bad, because you will look in front of everyone you're bad. Whether it was in the language you are delivering, which you're not confident with, or with the kind of delivery. Some people can shout, some people cannot shout. Some people can look cute or funny. Some people, they don't have that character. Some people can do football voiceover. Some people cannot do it.
Sure.
You know. So going back to your question, I had some of course, experiences. I don't know if you want me to tell.
Absolutely, please.
Well, I remember a story where when I really started that, maybe I was still more in the blind narration job. And I used to go to some local radio stations in Lebanon where I used to live. And I remember once I was recording something in a radio station, and in the middle of the session, the sound engineer said, "Okay, wait, I'll be back." And I was in this, recording booth like here, and he was outside where we have glass between us, and he left, and I was waiting, and then someone came, and he said, "Well, I don't know what to tell you, but he was so much annoyed with your delivery, and he said he cannot work with you because you are annoying.
What?
And we are looking for someone else, so please wait." So at that moment, you had two options, or three, whether to start crying, or to leave, or to tell yourself, well, maybe I was annoying. Maybe he's right. And actually, he's right, because I used to read in a very annoying way, like, I didn't have and he was very professional, and he used to work with the top people. So he said, "Who's this guy coming here? What you are doing? I don't want to lose my time, repeat this for 10 times for him to do it." So, of course, at that moment, you lose your confidence. But you always have to come back and say, what is my experience? What do I know? I can't judge on things as other people are professional people. So, but it didn't allow me to stop. And I said, I want this guy one day to dream to work with me. This was my push to work more on myself and never be in that position anymore. And I met him after years, and we are friends. And he said, of course, he apologized, but I told him, well, at that moment it was bad, but it didn't affect me more than that moment. So you need to think at that moment what's happening. Because even me and you, we are professional voiceovers. But sometimes we meet difficult clients. You meet clients who maybe they don't know what they want, or they have been working and preparing this 4 lines for 2 months, and they think this is the most important thing for them. But for us, we do these 4 lines every day. Every day we have a client, and every day we do different lines. So you need to understand them. Like, for them, this is something very important. Maybe they do this once a year. But for us, we do it once every week or once every day. So they might say something, they might... And actually, there's another story. Once I was recording recently, a few years ago, and you feel some clients, they think a voiceover job is just like, yalla, read.
Easy, yeah.
What are you doing? You
Yeah.
are reading. You can feel that, the way they give you the instructions or comment on your feedback. And in that day, I was a bit also in a crazy mood. Which you have not to be, because in those 10 minutes when you are in the studio, you become an employee to that client.
Sure.
You work for that company. He's like your boss. Whatever he say, you have to do. So I felt he was trying to tell me, خلاص يلا do whatever. I told him, you know what? I'm not going to continue this session before you come and you do it. And I want to see you doing it. And everyone, like, when everyone, there was silence.
Silence, yeah.
I told him, yeah, I'm serious. I'm leaving if he doesn't come and read that script, and I want to see him reading it. And he came, and he started shivering,
Wow.
holding the paper.
Wow.
I told him, now you go back to your seat and let me do my job.
Wow.
Yes. So that was, but of course I couldn't do that when I was still 18 years old and I have no experience.
Which year was that? Sorry to interrupt.
Which one?
The last story. Which year was that?
It was in Dubai. It's maybe 2 years before COVID, something like
Okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah. But I mean, at a certain age, at a certain experience, you can't do it. But at another circumstances, you can do it because you don't care. Even if I lose this job.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not the right attitude to do. We can talk about that. But some people look at you that you are just reading. No, it's not just reading. Even if it's 2 words, it's not just saying 2 words. Because not everyone can do it.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned earlier, Nassim, you were talking about breath control.
Yes.
Second, knowing how to clearly enunciate each word. Know how to pause and when to pause. Know when to put emphasis on key words. And I feel like, from what you're saying, some people take that for granted and they think, oh, okay, what is he doing? He's just reading from our script. But they don't appreciate all the work that's been done in our years of experience before getting to that moment where we make it look easy.
Yeah, of course, because it's a built-up technique. I always say it's like driving a car. You can never drive a car from day one, even if you learn driving virtually or practically, and you will never learn until you are on the highway and driving alone. And when you are a voiceover, you are alone in the studio. You are alone behind the mic. You are alone holding the paper. If you don't know what to do, no one will come and tell you what to do at that moment. So you will either appear professional and know what you are doing, or you would look half-half. So as you learn, you become a better driver through years. And the first time you drive, you never look left or right. You are holding it both hands. You don't even want to listen to music because it might distract you. You don't eat. Now you do everything. Okay, we shouldn't look at the phone, that's of course. But you can talk to someone, you can sing with the song, you can do so many things, and you drive right. But you're always in focus. You always focus. You never lose attention. When you lose your focus, you make an accident. Same thing. So it's a built-up situation. You acquire it by time and by experience and by different scenarios with different people and different scripts. Because sometimes they make scripts that are impossible. You cannot read 10 lines in 2 seconds.
Yeah. We've experienced that.
Of course.
Do you remember a challenging session where you had to either leave the session or...
I never left a session because I usually don't go to a session if I'm not sure that I can do that job. I always ask, what is the job? What is needed? What kind of script? So luckily, I never left a session because I'm very serious about what I do, and I think also people trust what I do. From the grammar side, because the Arabic scripts, the grammar has special level, of course, of details which you should know about. But of course, I have so many difficult sessions and difficult projects because some sessions are just like few minutes, but some projects, they continue for days and weeks. So challenges can be with the people you work with, can be with the script, it can be with the job itself, or it can be with you because you are a human at the end. You might be tired, you have problems, you have many things. You need to just detach things from your life and be in those minutes with those people, giving them the best you can do. You might need to read in a very happy way, but you are very sad that day. Or the opposite, you might be very sad, but so you need to, or let's say it has a kind of pressure, stress, of course. Yeah, so these are the challenges. But I'm in general, I know I'm an easy person, so I don't have problems.
That's true. That's true. I've worked with you firsthand, either as a sound engineer recording you, or as an audio producer sending your voice to different clients. Was there an ad that we did together?
Maybe. I mean, after 3 COVIDs, I have a very bad memory. So
Yeah,
I
sure,
can't remember
sure.
things.
If my memory serves me right, there was a Starbucks ad that we
Maybe.
both featured in. And
Maybe.
you were the announcer, I was one of the
Maybe.
characters.
And you know, and sometimes now the jobs that have more than one voice, we don't record together.
Yeah.
I mean, you might not know who is the other voice
Sure.
because they have different sessions and different times to record. But if you have it, let me
Yeah, sure.
let me listen to it.
It's funny because with Layla, we were just saying that you only find out a couple of months after, once the project is released.
And sometimes you don't find it.
Exactly.
I really take time to look and go on YouTube, or I don't like what if you are not using it, why you are putting all the time and the energy and the money, and where is the job? I would love to keep some, especially some jobs, like you like to keep them in your archive because they are the best style that works for you.
Regarding Arabic voiceovers, especially, we both know there's something we call tashkil, which are the pronunciations or accents, if you will. And I was talking to a friend, and she was saying that one of her biggest challenges was to know where to put those tashkil or pronunciations. And I could relate with that
I know.
challenge.
You
As
ask
you
me
well know.
sometimes.
Exactly, exactly. And since I started my voiceover career in 2015, I remember I would send you a text, a small script I had to read, and ask you for help in terms of tashkil. And that throughout the years really helped me also know where to put them instinctively after some practice. So I imagine for you, after your career as a TV presenter and recording so many voiceover scripts in Arabic, it's become second nature to you, hasn't it?
Well, for me, maybe because I studied in a school that taught me Arabic. You or I don't know your friend if they studied in this kind of school. So I used to love Arabic language, and I used to be good in Arabic language. So this helped me when I started doing this job. Of course, you forget things. I always have a book that I go back and I try to remember this rule or this kind of thing that helped me take the decision how to put that pronunciation or whatever. Maybe people who don't know Arabic might not understand, but just to tell them that the way we record most of scripts is the classical Arabic. It's not the Arabic that we talk with. We talk in the street.
Yeah.
So that's why people don't use that Arabic in their daily life, and it becomes more difficult for them to use it in their professional way. It's the way we write, it's the way we talk. So I mean, in general, I was good in Arabic. I love Arabic, but I always remind myself with things that I forget. And of course, doing it always over years, it becomes easier. But going back to what I said at the beginning, when I recorded books for the blind, the sound engineer was very good in Arabic. And he used to stop me and correct any mistake. And I used to ask why. Why it's this, not that. So I started knowing the rules. And also, it's very important, not about doing this tashkil thing. It's about how you pronounce a word in general. This is like being cultured and being reading books in Arabic, because it accumulates. Same as English. Like some people say development, some people say development, some people. Just to give an example.
Sure,
so there's one right, there's one wrong. Same thing in Arabic. There are words that you might pronounce it in a way, but that's the common way, not the correct way. However, what really annoys me now, that with the wide like spread of the voiceover, let's call fashion, it's a fashion now. Many people want to be voiceovers, speaking about Arabic, but they don't want to improve their Arabic. They say, you prepare things for me. How can I prepare things for you? Can you be a painter if you don't know the difference between purple and blue? You can't. Or red or orange. You can't. You have to know it. So if you are not really ready to go and learn Arabic and improve your Arabic, don't be a voiceover, because it doesn't work. Going back to another example, which is easier. How can you drive if you don't know the difference between the traffic signs? You cannot. You cannot ask the person next to you, do I stop or do I cross or I don't cross? You can't. And what is more annoying, people have the energy and the time to go and learn a completely new language. If they know German, gonna help them, or whatever language, or Italian or French, they will go and they will learn and they will study it. But Arabic, they will say, no, I don't want to learn that Arabic. So don't be a voiceover if you don't want to learn Arabic, because many jobs require good grammar. And you will look not confident in the studio, because you might go and prepare the script the night before, if you are lucky to have it, but changes happen on spot. They might shorten questions, they might add words, they might do whatever things. If you don't know how to take the decision, okay, you might be a good actor and look confident and do it the way you want, and you think it's fine, but someone will be listening and he will say, look how bad he is, what he is saying. Yeah, at the end, it's an image. You either gain the trust of the client and the people, and they know X will not make a mistake because he knows what he's doing, or, oh my God, God knows what will happen when he finishes this session. So Arabic is very important. It's the basic. At the end, we deal with words. These are our products. A script is made of words, and the words are either formal, classic, or the slang language that we talk. Talking about slang, that's a completely different thing, because sometimes you are pretending an accent which is not your accent, and you can offend the people who are originally from that accent. I'm Lebanese. If I talk in Egyptian, an Egyptian guy will know that I'm not an Egyptian. And he will know I'm doing this just because I want the money of that job. So unless you are fully bilingual or by accent. Well, is there a word in English like to do many accents? Let's create by accent.
By accents.
So don't do it, because you will look unprofessional. You would look not right. And there are difficult accents. Even in the same country, there are accents. Even in Saudi Arabia, there are different accents. Even the Saudis don't do other accents. There's the Najdi and there's the different Hijazi. There are different kinds of accents. Even in other countries, like you have, they speak in different. But it's a common. I mean, they all try to use the normal one, the common one. So it's a complicated thing. You cannot say, I can do everything. You cannot do everything. Otherwise, you should be Bill Gates. You should be very rich.
True.
And ask for whatever money you want.
True. And Nassim, you've recorded for some of the biggest brands across the globe and in the UAE. And I mean, you're the official voice of Emirates Airlines.
Yeah.
And so many other brands. I mean, just to name a few, Infinity, Mercedes, you've recorded for Nakhil. I know you've recorded for Starbucks as well. A lot of brands. What did you learn from recording for so many different brands?
Well, it's a job. You do it perfectly, and you leave, and you start looking for the other good job. That's the general rule. You are never, you are not the job. The job is the client. You are just the voice. Okay, you are the ambassador of that voice in that project. So you shouldn't think you are more important than the brand. I'm not Emirates. I'm just the voice of Emirates Airlines safety movie, who I'm lucky to be that for like the last 11 years. For many reasons, I'm happy. They like me. They didn't find someone better than me. Or I don't know, but that's good. But I will never say I will be the voice of Emirates forever, and I'm not Emirates. So there's a bit kind of confusion about that. If you do a job, you don't become the voice of that job unless you are the only one who's doing that for a certain number of years.
Consistently.
Yeah, but today I did Nissan, tomorrow Nissan might choose you or choose her or choose someone else. I cannot say I am the voice of Nissan or the voice of Starbucks or the voice of Head and Shoulders. No, I have done all of these. I have done all the brands that I dream to do. But for me, I look in it in another way. Keeping the brand is more important than doing it once, because everyone does it once. Everyone has done it. But you should ask yourself, why or how can I be the voice that they always request and want to become, in a way, their voice or the voice of that brand? Or when people hear my voice or your voice, will say, oh yeah, he is the voice of. So doing that is very difficult because you need to always be updating yourself. You have to act right in that position of recording. You have to be professional. You have to listen to the directions they need. So keeping a brand is more difficult than doing a brand. This is how I see it. But of course, all these names you mentioned, I'm so happy to work for them because it's first satisfies my personal and my passion for this job. And it's a good image, of course, to say my voice is on here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you mentioned earlier, we were talking briefly about you recording remotely since 2015.
No,
you
since 2009.
Yes, you left Dubai in 2009, correct?
Yes.
How did you remain active in Dubai while not being
Well,
physically
I'll
present?
tell you a funny story. Before I left Dubai to London, where I moved from here to work for BBC in London, I went to a sound engineer who was a friend, and we bought the mic and the card and whatever things, and he connected them, and I took them in the bag, connected,
No.
because I was afraid if this cable goes, I don't know where to put it. Imagine. So I just like put the cables around the boxes and the thing, and I put them as is in the bag. And when I went to London, I just put them on the table. So I had to decide what to do in order not to lose the clients and the jobs and the thing that I love to do. So the first thing, I needed equipment. So I got the equipment. And then I had to choose a place that has the ability to record in, because you might be in a noisy street, or you might be next to a noisy neighbor who puts some music and watches TV at 6 in the morning. So I thought about all of that. And the most important thing is to be available, because if you got a request for a session at 10 a.m. Dubai time, which is 6 a.m. London time, you cannot say, I'm not available, only give me the afternoon sessions. So that was also a challenge to how to manage this with your full-time job, because you have to get ready and go to your job. Of course, I lost jobs. I cannot say I have kept all the jobs that I can do in Dubai, but I always believe you have to lose something. So I lost what I was meant to be, and I got more, and I got new jobs in London, because I was also a good Arabic voiceover in London, and there were not as many as in Dubai, or in any other Arab words. So I did my best to keep the wheel going, as they say. And things were good. Also keeping connections with the clients when visiting Dubai, come and meet the studios and the production houses. Of course, there are new production houses in Dubai that started working after I left, so they know about me. But I mean, at the end, it's good to have a balance of things, and I think I did it. But what benefited me most was the having studio in my flat, recording remotely, and COVID happened. So everyone was calling everyone. Do you have a recording facility? Of course, since 10 years.
Exactly.
Just come to me. I'm ready. And it was difficult at certain points, because at that time, especially let's say between 2010 and 2014, 15, clients used to come more to the studio, if you remember.
Yes.
They used to attend the session with a voiceover, with a scriptwriter.
With agency.
Like we used to have 10 people outside, like an audience. Now there's no one. Everyone is connected on Zoom or on Google Hangout or any way. And he's in his office, he connects for 10, 15 minutes and he leaves. So it really doesn't make a difference where you are now. But of course, I lost some jobs, because some agencies or studios used to tell me the client wants the voiceover to be in the location.
Person, yeah.
Although you might be in another room and there's a wall and he doesn't see you, but they just want to see that is you there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, things work.
Yeah, I mean, you've kept this remote recording setup for years, and I remember
16 years.
Yeah, and I made sure that your sessions with your voice were at least after 12 noon Dubai time.
Yeah,
so
because
that it
it's
works
9,
for your
it's
time.
9 or 8 a.m.
Exactly.
My time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the other difficult thing in my work before now I moved to another place, but during my BBC work for 12 years, I was traveling all over the world filming stories. And I was also recording. So I used to go to, let's say, South America, used to go to Japan, used to go to Madagascar, used to go wherever I used to go. I have my mic and my setting. And I always try to have a silent room, not facing the pool where people shout and laugh and dance.
Kids screaming.
And they might tell me, but you have been booked to a pool view. I don't want. Give me a wall view. That's what I want. Give me high floor, away from the lift. I don't want connecting rooms because you have a door and you might have noise. And my most scary moment was when I start recording, the housekeeping start cleaning the room next to me because they have the vacuum and boom, boom, boom. They hit the walls. And it happened. Once I just opened the door and told her, like, she doesn't know, why do you have a mic? What's happening in this room?
Yeah.
But, you always can cover yourself with the bed cover to reduce the echo. It might be very warm. You start sweating. Session take time. But you cannot be unavailable. If you tell a client you're not available for 2, 3, 4, 5 times, they will go and find someone else.
Yeah.
You're not at the end Shakira or Beyonce or
Sure.
everyone. This is what I believe. Everyone can be replaced.
True.
You cannot say this is for granted for me forever.
Absolutely. And is having a golden voice enough to succeed in the voiceover industry?
Well, it's good to have a golden voice. It's, as they say, God's gift. But, I mean, it gives you confidence at the beginning. It can make things faster, to get a test or get your voice sent. But, as they say, you show your muscles in the studio, not in the demo you send. Your demo can be the best demo ever, done and made and perfected. But come sit behind the mic and read. There where you become the best voiceover. And there's something very important. Not all jobs need golden voice. Not all jobs. Some jobs, they just need 2 guys or 2 girls talking with each other about something. So sometimes having a very nice, deep voice, or even having a deep voice. Some people think if you have a deep voice, let me teach you how to make your voice deep. No, not every job needs, and now we have to talk about. Not every job. Some jobs need high pitch. Some jobs need normal pitch. So it's like, the material of clothes. You cannot say this kind of cloth can make any dress or any shirts. No. Some designs need jeans, and some designs need linen, and some designs need cotton, and some designs need silk. And voices are like that. Different kind of voices have different kind of uses, and different kind of scripts.
I love that. I love the analogy between cloth material and voices.
Yeah, but any clothes need a good designer and needs a good that fits you. You cannot wear something that doesn't fit you, and you cannot do something that doesn't fit your voice. So in order to know what fits you and your body shape or your voice quality, this takes time and experience, and people who might tell you, you know what, your voice doesn't work with poetry. Why you want to go and say عندما تكون الحياة, you have عندما تكون الحياة. It doesn't work. So don't go to an area where you look bad. Don't swim if you hate water because everyone is swimming. No, I want to go and jump. You're gonna die.
You're gonna
go down, and no one gonna see you. So it's like that.
Someone comes to you and they're a beginner. They're interested in joining the voiceover industry, and they ask you, Nassim, what are your 3 truths about the voiceover industry? What is 3 things that you've learned throughout your career and throughout your experience that you know to be true?
You need to have passion. You need to love it. You need to love your voice, because we are, now you and me, we are hearing our voices. Some people hear, I can't hear my voice. How can't you hear your voice and you want to go work in voice? This is the job. So you need to enjoy and love hearing your voice. And our voices sound different when we talk. So you need you and your voice to become one. What you hear on the headphone is what people are hearing. So you need to accept that. What I've learned, it's a serious job. It's not just anyone's job. Just give me a mic and script and I can do it. We all have legs, but we don't all play football. We all have hands, but we don't all play basketball. And who plays football doesn't play basketball. They are different things.
Sure.
But we have the same voices. So this is very important, is to look at it as a serious job that needs specific talents, specific capabilities. Okay, maybe it's short, like you work limited time, you make good money, but also you won't be rich. You won't be you have to work the whole year to do what an actor or singer can do in one interview or in one concert. So it's not the job that makes gold, as they say. Okay, some limited, specific, lucky voiceovers who work in specific places where they have rights and copyrights and usages, they can make money. But in the Arab world, and I'll be very honest with you, this career is still not well organized. This is still not considered as a job. There's no union for voiceovers. If you have a job and no one paid you, you just go and cry alone in your bedroom. You can't do anything about it. So there's no protection for you or for the usage. You do a job, they keep using it for 5 years and you get paid once. However, a singer, he gets paid every time his song is played. And there's a very big fact coming, AI. You are stupid if you think AI, I mean, you as a voiceover person, you can't say AI will not affect or compete you. You will be like as if just hiding the truth. It's impossible.
And how do you think AI will affect the voiceover industry?
It will. Now you can see singers singers who have died 20 years ago, they are singing new songs. Actors who have died or not continued the scenes, they are continuing the scenes. Do you want us to believe that an AI will not be able to do a script? That's the easiest. They don't even do it now because it's like doing eggs in the morning. Like anyone can fry eggs. That's the easiest thing. Okay, maybe in languages it's different because Arabic language has specific things. But there are some jobs that need straightforward readings, like reading books, like reading just training stuff. Yeah, they don't need that specific delivery with, you have to cut to the scene and to the point and to stitch things in your delivery. But of course it will affect. There's no way it will not affect. All the IVRs, all the airport announcements, all the telephone like Google Siri, these are all AI. These voice actors didn't say anything about that. This is all AI composing things. So definitely it will affect. How bad, we don't know, but it will. I don't think things will stay the same. There's no way.
And in your opinion, how can we as voiceover actors continue to improve ourselves and add to our value so that we can differentiate ourselves from these AI voices?
Well, we have to try. We are still discovering AI, and it is becoming very fast. It's developing very fast. ChatGPT or Bard or anything, they are becoming more and more intelligent. I mean, to be honest, I don't know. We can either go to the extreme where we give our voices to the AI and we secure a monthly salary from being royalties, but you might also make your voice used there and they will not come to you. For me, I look at it in a different way. It's more risky and challenging for the people who are now entering the voiceover industry, not for people who have been doing it for years, because their voice became a brand. It's demanded. Like, for me, I don't know how they approach me. I just get emails. I never go and say, hi, I want to be auditioned, unless it's a very big project. But my worry is on the people who are now starting, who need 10 years to become a brand. By that time, I don't know where and how AI will be competing them. It's more difficult for them now. So for us, it's difficult. So imagine for them, they still need to go and sell their voice and market their voice while AI is also being, because
Growing exponentially.
AI can create a voice. They don't need your voice. So it's like a pool where they inject voices and he mixes them as the AI can create a face. It's no one's face. So he owns the royalty of that face. You have now, digital influencers. They are not real people, but they are digital influencers.
It's crazy, man.
So they can create a voice, and I think the most difficult when the voice becomes on demand. Like the clients say, I want this voice with 80% depth, 20% blah blah blah, 30%. It's like making a dish.
Yeah.
So they just put a formula, enter, they create that voice for them, and they love it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I hope not. I mean,
freaky.
it's bad for everyone, but you cannot say this is not happening unless AI becomes very much regulated with rules and copyrights and international rules. We are talking, because it's not only about voiceover; it's about script writing, story writing, journalisting, everything. So if no one will control this, I even heard that there is this UN organizations to control nuclear weapons, to control anything big. So there should be an international organization that controls AI, same as they control all of the things happening, like the thing for medicines in the US.
FDA? What's it called?
مش FDA.
FDA is the Food and Drug Association.
يعني مثلا the one that any medicine has to be released has to be approved.
FDA approved. That's
FDA
it.
approved. So something like this, there should be a big governmental rules, international rules, controlling AI with different fields.
Like an FDA for AI.
Something like this, or like a UN organization for AI. Otherwise, it's gonna spread like cancer. No one can stop it. It spreads so fast, and from one field to another, it's folding or unfolding.
Unfolding, yeah.
Unfolding.
Yeah.
It's unfolding.
I remember taking so many flights from Emirates, and every time I would sit down and the video would start playing, I'd hear your voice. And I'd start sending you a video or a photo. Nassim, that's you, that's you. I was so proud, to tell my family or my friends, I know this guy, I work with this guy.
Well, thank you so much. I always love when people send me that, because so many people travel on Emirates. But yeah, I always love doing that part. I've recorded it once a few years ago. As you know, we updated it over time when they added electric cigarettes and changed things. But it's something I always love.
Can you please show us a sample?
Okay, I don't remember the script very well, but something like this when the movie starts. أهلا بكم على هذه الرحلة. نرجو من حضراتكم أن تستمعوا بعناية إلى تعليمات السلامة على متن رحلة طيران الإمارات. صح؟
بوم! ما سفرك؟
يوجد 8 مخارج للطوارئ. But the nice feeling is when you are on plane and you cannot tell everyone, guys, that's me. Or if someone is not listening, he's on his phone, like, listen, stop using your phone. You should listen to these
instructions.
Yeah, I always love to do it, and I was very lucky to be the voice of that job.
And they're lucky to have you.
Thank you.
And Nassim, we both know that having a good voice and taking care of your vocal longevity is something very important for us. Have you ever encountered a time or a situation where you damaged your vocal cords?
Well, definitely that's 100% right. And always I took care and take care of my voice, where I don't shout, I don't scream, I don't eat certain things that I know makes me need to clear my throat. But unluckily, and this is the first time I say this, by the way, even my followers on social media, they don't know. In 2021, I had COVID, like everyone else. But unluckily, the COVID was a really bad one, where I had the strongest cough I would ever have, like a really, really bad cough for, let's say, 10, 15 days. And during COVID and the cough, you lose your voice. It becomes like a husky voice and crackered voice. So the cough stopped, the COVID was cleared, but the voice never came back.
Wow.
So that was January 2022, I think. In that time, you start reading, eating honey, teas, all of things, but still the voice was, I was someone else. Like it sounded like if I want to say, good morning, I want to tell you that.
Wow.
That was my voice. So I had to go to a doctor and to see what was the problem. Luckily, and that was like, I have chosen, I was on Google and just searching for vocal cord doctors or laryngists. And I just chosen one and I booked an appointment and I visited him. So they do like a scan, they put like a kind of a pen with a camera and they see what's happening in your vocal cords. So I still remember the moment he said, do you want the good news or the bad news? I told him, the good news. He said, it's not cancer. I told him what it is. He said, you have damaged your vocal cord. So your vocal cord has like a cut and it has like a ball or a cyst. You know what's a cyst? When you have something like a ball filled of fat or fluid or whatever. So you know how vocal cords work. So there are two muscles like this. They hit each other when you talk. And when they close, they should be, closing the mic. So they should be like closing perfectly on each other. So imagine one of them has a bump or a ball. So they don't close. So when you talk, you have this, like this kind of wrong voice. So I told him, okay, what is the situation? What's the solution? He said, you need to have a total vocal rest. What is a total vocal rest? No coughing, no sneezing, minimum talk, like you talk 5 minutes a day, in order to see if your body gonna absorb that fluid and suck it down, suck it in your cord. And that was for 1 month.
Wow.
Where you have to tell everyone I'm not available. And like, I don't only work with daily things. I have contracts with companies where I can get a script at any time and I'm expected to send it back in maximum 24 hours. So I need to tell these people that I'm not available for 1 month. And I was never not available for a month. I might maximum be available for 1 day or 2 days because I'm on a flight or I'm whatever. Or I have a flu or cold, which clears in a few days.
Sure.
So they were very supportive. That's when you have good relations with people. They know you are a human at the end. Anyway, so after 1 month, I visited him again and we did another scan. He said, well, it's now 50% less, but it's still there. So you have two options, either to do a surgery, a vocal cord surgery, where they need to cut that, take the fluid, and then have vocal therapy before and after. So it's like a 3 months thing.
Wow.
Or you have to live with it. So if you are not a person who works in voiceover, you can live with it because, okay, the voice came back to a very similar voice like me, but a little bit different. So even I remember in some sessions with clients who I always work with, they used to tell me like, are you okay? Do you have a cold? Wow. Because you might lose your voice. You have only 2 hours in the morning where you are, when you wake up and you're relaxed, and then it becomes bigger.
Okay.
Where it affects your voice. By the end of the day, you lose your voice. One session, I remember, I can't remember the job. It was a car or something. And she was like, usual girl where we always record with. She said, guys, can you put on mute? I need to talk to my team. Everyone put on mute. She called me. I was in the session. She said, hi, Nassim, are you okay? There's something wrong in your voice.
Wow.
If you want to have a break, drink tea. I told her, I used to say, I had cold and I just finished cold. So please try to make it fast because I cannot repeat. When you repeat, you start losing your voice. More. So yeah, there were really bad situations. Anyway, so I went back to the doctor. I told him, I want to do the surgery. Because I cannot live with that forever. Like, I don't know when I lose my voice in the session.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the worst thing you can have. So he said, okay, that was October. Not last October.
Yeah.
He said, okay,
That was after we met, right?
we always meet.
Yeah, true. It was around that time, I remember.
Well, I did the surgery on the 2nd of February, 2023,
Okay.
which was just,
Recently.
8 months ago. But the worst thing was you need to sign, as any surgery you do, that your voice might change.
Wow.
You have to sign that consent. If you don't sign that consent, he will not do the surgery for you.
Wow.
So the surgery is basic. It's not a open heart surgery. It's a basic surgery where you sleep, they go inside, they cut it with laser and with hand, and you have two options, either to stitch it or not to stitch it. So if you stitch it, it might make a scar, and making a scar might change your voice. And the vocal cords are just 2 centimeters. They are just like that. They are nothing in your body. If you don't stitch it, you have not to speak or use your voice or this area for 5 days.
Wow.
And then after that, you start speaking with the vocal therapist, speaking air, like, and do vocal therapy every day. And yes, I did the surgery on the 2nd of February 2023. And I think it was the most difficult day of my life, because I still remember, like, when I went in that, and I was alone. When I went, because it's better to be alone, because if you are with someone, you will speak. So I was on the bed being taken to that room, and before, they give you the general anesthesia. I told the doctor, please be careful. This is all what I have been doing all my life. I don't want my voice to change. So, and I slept, because they were giving me the thing.
You must have thought, no pressure.
No, it was it was very, very, very nice. I mean, for me, it was a very nice experience. And yeah, I woke up, and for 5 days, I didn't see anyone. You shouldn't cough or sneeze. And the funny thing that when you are alone, you start speaking to yourself, but you don't realize that. Like, I still remember, it was very cold in London in February, and I went from one room to another room in my flat, and I said, it's cold. It was the first time I hear my voice after 3 days. And it was like, I just like, did I sound normal or not? I cannot remember. It was so frightening.
Yeah.
And yes, in 1 month, my voice went back to, I can say, better than before. And then I discovered that he was one of the top doctors in the UK who treats top people. I'm not allowed to say mean, but top singers. And even someone told me, you are even lucky to have time to do surgery with him. He doesn't accept people.
Wow.
Yes, I was so lucky to have him. And what this taught me, that never take anything for granted. Anything can change just from coughing. Imagine. Or someone who uses his eyes, or someone who uses their hands, or someone who uses their legs, or anything. So enjoy what you have and do it to the best you can. And just be ready to any surprises. I mean, I was this person who really took care of his voice. Like, to the I never smoke. I never eat spicy things. I never shout, because I know this is going to hurt. It's a muscle. Like, as if now you are doing 500 kilos. You're going to break your arm. Your arm cannot take that weight. And a silly COVID could have changed my life and my career. But you have to move on. And honestly, the most difficult 10 months in the whole career that I have done. We always have sessions where you get tired, you lose your voice, whatever happens. You get flu or, but this gonna. But when I saw the scan of my vocal cord, so I left the clinic and I was going to the tube station. I was almost crying, but I want to walk and cry. People will say, what's his problem? So I only said, why my vocal cords? Why? I mean, choose leg, hand, back. I don't care. why the vocal cord? But for me, I needed that slap. I needed that time to wake up, to believe that things can change. Nothing lasts forever. So just do the best and don't think too much. Because there are things you cannot control. Things just happen like anyone else. But when you are there, you have to be strong and you don't say, it's done. And I should have insured my voice. Insure your voice. All of you insure your voices if you have good ones.
That's a good advice. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Nassim, thank you so much. I want to acknowledge you for all the advice and help and support that you've given me personally throughout the years.
Well, it was always my pleasure because I always saw the passion you have for this, and also doing this podcast is something great. Now at least we can see who are the real faces behind the real voices. Because unfortunately now so many people claim that it's me, but they are not. Anyone can say anything.
True.
But at the end, show me the job. Where is the job? Do it live. Let me see you doing it. Then you are this person.
Absolutely.
So it's good to see these people. And I hope one day the voiceover will be acknowledged as a real career, as a proper job. It's not the job of anyone who decides to just get a mic for $100 online and say, I am the voice of, and they do it, and they go and record, and they tag everyone, and no one is stopping anyone. And this is unfair for the people who really took time to do it or get the experience and get chosen because casting is very difficult. I mean, we have lots of experience, but we still go into casting and shortlisting and stuff.
And we have to handle rejection, and some clients may not like to work with us for certain types of projects, and we have to be okay with that. It's part of the journey.
Yeah, I mean, like actors, you cannot see one actor who gets every job he does, or he was asked to do or suggested to do.
Except Morgan Freeman.
Well,
He's done thousands of movies.
well, so and thank you so much for having me.
It's an honor. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to watch it like everyone else.
Thank you. Thank you, Nassim.